Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. I've been recording on YouTube lately through the upload feature because my iPhoto's broken. I dropped my one camera in water when we were swimming. If you saw any of my swimming videos with my son, I actually dropped one of my cameras in there. So I'm kind of bummed out with my video situation lately. However, I am liking this feature here on YouTube. I've only used it a few times before, but it's really easy because it just goes right up, and I don't have to go in and edit and all that kind of stuff, or semi-edit, because I really don't edit much of my videos. So people have asked me for the last couple of years, Marcus, aren't you afraid that companies are going to come after you, that chefs are going to come after you, because sometimes you're a little controversial, and don't you ever get any letters from attorneys and stuff like that? Aren't you afraid? And I actually got my first letter the other day. I did that bourbon video, and the distillery, the attorney actually sent me a letter demanding it be removed, right? And going to hold me accountable for, for damages. So I temporarily shut the video off, and my attorney is looking at the video and looking at the letter. They actually sent me 2 letters, so they didn't like what I had to say. But you know what? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you my opinion on things. Maybe I'm wrong sometimes, and maybe their side of the story needs to be heard as well, which is fine. But I'm definitely, whether I reactivate that video or not, I'm definitely doing another video on Widow Jane bourbon from Cacao Pareto. I'm definitely doing another video on it. It has 2 interesting sides of the story. Up in my area, up here in New York, there's 2 sides to the fence here, and there's certain people that don't want to see it in restaurants that are like, no, we don't want to support them, and this is this, and there's other people that are saying this is great bourbon. And I never said in the video that the bourbon wasn't good. The bourbon is really good. It's good bourbon. I'm not a spirit drinker. I can appreciate spirits, and it's a good bourbon. So I never said that about Widow Jane, that it was a bad bourbon. It's a really good bourbon, and I wish that there wasn't controversy around it. But as I've had it here on the back of my bar at the restaurant, people have said things to me like, do you know the whole story behind that bourbon? Have you seen the article in the Bluestone Press? I'm surprised, Marcus, that you would support a bourbon like that with the controversy. And as the time went on, I'm like, really? What controversy? So I did some research myself. I've actually called Cacao Pareto a long time ago, and I spoke to one of the sales managers in the very beginning, and he all of a sudden was gone like 3-4 weeks later. He even said to me, he goes, it's my last week here. Because I wanted some more information on it when I first started buying it. I usually do that with a lot of the things I buy. I call and get more information. I was unaware of the actual controversy. I was going by the story that they were presenting. So whether it's true or not, because it could be true, and I hope that their story is true, and I hope that all the parties can become happy and be proud that we do have a great product coming from upstate. Local distilleries, local wineries, local breweries. I mean, there's a huge attraction, and it's a great way to spur the economy of these local small communities. So now keep in mind, they don't have a distillery here, but they're using the name and using hopefully the water from here to do that. So, I mean, my advice is that, I've tried to call Cacao Pareto. Nobody ever answers the phone there. Nobody ever answers the phone. It's just very frustrating. I called before I did the video. I probably called 4 times. So I would love to hear their side. I wouldn't even mind interviewing them. I've spoken to the people on the other side, but I'm definitely going to do another video where I'm going to state, at least what the article says and what the response is, because that's public record. Anybody can go on Google and search that and find that, okay? My personal opinion right now is I'm not supporting them. I would love to support them. I have supported them for the last 3 years, 2 years, however long I've supported them. Because I believe in the quality of the product that's actually in the bottle. So I never disagreed with the quality of the product. But they really didn't like my video at all. So I'm going to repost that in some form. I've heard here and there from of course, I heard from Tom Colicchio when I did that. That was one of my first controversial videos back in 2010 where I said, he's not serving grass-fed beef. However, they did answer the phone 8 times at his restaurant in Foxwoods, and they did argue with me. They did tell me that I was wrong, and then when I presented them with the facts of what true grass-fed, I called them out for not serving real grass-fed beef when it said grass-fed beef, and it listed all these farm names. I called them out, and they didn't like that. Tom Colicchio didn't like it, and he kept tweeting me back and forth direct messages and said, "I'm done playing with you. You don't know who you're getting involved with here." And yeah, I saved all those because I figured those would come in handy sometime in the future. Then they blatantly lied and said, "Thank you for catching our typos." I caught their typos 6 months earlier, 3 months earlier, and I called them, and they argued with me. So it wasn't me. They didn't catch a typo. They were arguing with me. But once I publicized it, all of a sudden they were like, "Oh man, you know, thanks for catching our typo." Yeah, but you argued with me. Even your manager argued with me and pawned me off to the butcher and the kitchen manager, and they argued with me. And the guy told me, "Oh, I grew up on a farm and I know the cattle's grass fed." And I have a lot of videos where chefs, restaurants use the name grass fed. As soon as the animal eats grain, as soon as you feed an animal grain based upon USDA standards, based upon the American Grass-Fed Association standards, you can no longer call that beef grass-fed. Okay, it's grain-fed at that point. Now, all animals grow up on grass pastures. It's just what they do, and then they convert into feedlots. At a certain point in the animal's life, before processing, is where they will actually want to increase the size of it. So that's the story with that. So I'm not afraid. I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling my opinion. I'm telling you what I think, and I'm educating people. And if we can call some people out and make them change and stop being dishonest to their guests, and that's what the situation is. Obviously, Cacao Pareto is on guard with this now. So maybe something will happen in a positive light on both sides here, but who knows? But I'm definitely going to make that video again, and I might even reactivate that video. I'm just waiting for my attorney to get back to me on that. Maybe I might have to edit it a little bit. I'm not sure. But I think that because of the controversy in my area, that the story needs to be told. It was in the newspaper. It needs to be told, the story. Both sides need to be told, and let the consumer then make a decision whether they're going to keep supporting it or not supporting it. And for me, it's all about the ethics of where my dollar goes. So I want to make sure that my dollar, which is your dollar when you come to my restaurant, goes to the very best possible place. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe, and check out foodfraudtv.com. That's where I get a bit controversial. Not all my videos are controversial, but Food Fraud TV is where I get controversial and where I call people out. And if you don't want controversy, go to 50mistakes.com, which is my restaurant consulting website. Any business can use that, any type of industry can use that. There's a lot of good free information on there. So I'm just not one side. I'm just not out there, being an ass and calling people out and stirring up controversy. And a lot of my videos do good and they help people, and it's free advice. That's the story with me. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and pass it on. Thanks for watching.